Welcome back to Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and man, just like any other time, we have another amazing show today. Man, today we have royalty in the house. We have the one and only Kevin Von Erich. He is a true Texas wrestling legend. He joins us today ahead of the AEW Dynamite and Collision coming to San Antonio on October 22nd at the Boeing Center at TechPort. His sons, Marshall and Ross, they are also continuing his family legacy with the AEW, which airs on TBS, TNT, and streaming on HBO Max. First and foremost, Kevin, I know you have so much on your schedule. I want to say thank you for taking some time talking to us today. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good, man. How are you today?
I appreciate your time, and I'm doing great, sir. So let's kind of talk about you, man, your legacy and your family. When you look back, nearly 5 decades of being in this business and being successful, what moments still stand out to you today?
Moments stand out. It's funny, the stuff that lasts, you think about that. You maybe didn't think so much of it at the time, but one thing I do remember, and it says a lot for the people of Texas to me. I was in Wichita Falls in a show, and it was around Halloween, and there was a costume contest for the kids, and all the little kids were dressed up in their costumes, and I would reach down. I was standing outside the ring, and I would hold onto the rope and lean down and pick each kid up and put them in the ring, and they'd walk around. The crowd would, decide who costume they liked the best. And this one little girl, she was dressed like a witch, and she kept backing away, and so I did all the other little kids, and when it came her turn, I went to pick her up, and she was really heavy. And the people could see that she was heavy, and so I held onto the rope and went to pick her up, and the rope made a pop sound, as I lifted her up, and I could hear the people up in the corner of the building starting to laugh, and I shot them a look like, shut up, and they did it. They completely, no one in that building would have hurt that little girl's feelings, and to me, that was something I'll never forget about Texas, that people can be so considerate and of each other. The brotherhood is good in Texas.
Yes, sir. I love that. So I appreciate you sharing that. When you look at where you come from and how you got to where you are, what's some of the things that you learned along the way as you kept growing and succeeding in this business?
Well, like when you're a young man, you got a family, and so you attack everything hard, all out, and you turn yourself, a lot of things you deny yourself just because it's all about bringing home that check, and so, and the way I looked at it at the time was, fierce, and I wanted to make as much money as I could, and then as I grew and lost Dave in 1984 and then lost Mike in 1986, well, that was crushing to me, because I didn't realize what was important to me all along wasn't money or any of that fame stuff. It was family, because that's what lasts. And so I guess after losing Dave and then Mike, after hearing about Dave that early that morning, it shook me, man. I never really got over that. And then Mike was our baby brother, Chris was an infant during most of that. But anyway, it was like you change your values as you grow, I looked at, there was a time that, it was all gung-ho, I'll do the next show, and if you got fever or broken bone, dislocation, you get on that plane and go, because if a Von Erich doesn't show up, people want their money back, so we had to make all those shows. But it's hard work, man. I tell you what, it's being a father is what it is. Any dad out there knows you'll pay any price for your kids. You look down, you see your wife sleeping, maybe with a baby holding next to her, and they count on you. You are going to make this happen, and they know you're going to do it, even though you may not know how the hell you're going to do it. They got that confidence, and I just couldn't let them down, That's love, man. It's the greatest force on earth. Makes us do what we do.
That is real true. Love is everything. Once again, tune into Refocused Radio, talking to the one and only true Texas wrestling legend, Kevin Von Erich, just ahead of AEW Dynamite and Collision coming to San Antonio on October 22nd at the Boeing Center at TechPort. I want to talk about your sons. What advice do you give to them balancing fame and understanding the pressure, and what purpose involves in understanding how that balances out?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because I remember my dad saying to me, Kev, you don't want to do this for a living. Look how I walk, look how crippled up I am. And no matter what he said, I always admired him, and I wanted to do like he did. Because I was in Hawaii with my boys. We'd been spearfishing, and we had a lot of lobster and coming out of the water, but I couldn't look around underwater. My neck is stiff, my back's stiff, and getting where I do it less and less. But I said, you guys don't want to be like me. You don't want to be like this. And they said the same thing I said to my dad. Yes, sir, Dad, whatever you say. But that is what they pursued. They went to Japan, and in Japan, to be a young boy in the business is like torture. I mean, you do 1,000 sit-ups, 1,000 push-ups, all that a day, but you also sweep out the building. You bow to everyone. You carry luggage. You build the ring. And then the wrestling starts. It's relentless and ruthless, too. I mean, you see teeth knocked out on the mat, and it's brutal over there in Japan. And I wanted them to tell me, we don't want to do this. They didn't. They loved it, and the Japanese loved them. And so it's kind of like the same with me. I didn't know I wanted to do it make a living at it, but when I saw the money, I've been a fool to turn that down. And it's like my sons, they're in demand, and this show they're with, this AEW, it is kind of like burst out from the pack. It is the leader. Now, I look at these guys, and they do not waste motion. They're fluid, they're decisive, they move right, quick, and their counters and reversals are instantaneous to them, and they're professionals. And the day I did it, we were pretty shady characters. Now, my brothers and me, to tell the truth, we worked hard. It was all about getting better every day, but there are no drugs in the wrestling business today. The wrestlers are hard workers. They're guys that are right out of college or the NFL, and they don't want to waste any time. They want to do their very best. And so it's a new world today, and the wrestling is showing it too, because some of the athletes that we have are remarkable. Really, it's a great day, and I wish my brothers could see this.
And when you see your sons step into the ring, do you ever see like a glimpse of your younger self, and how much important is work ethic, especially in today's climate of a lot of people trying to get in the game as well?
Well, yeah. It's like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. And thank goodness for it, too, because if you're a young guy out there, a young football player, wrestler, whatever you're trying to do, basketball, anything, it's all about paying that price, working harder than that other guy's willing to do it. And that's what sets you apart. That's what go to college for free if you play your cards right. Young guys punting the football, you can become experts and get a good job with these things, but it takes devotion. Just like anything else, it's hard. While everyone else is resting and laying in bed, you're going to football practice or 2 a days or whatever. It's a hard life, but it's a disciplined life. And the movie, they came out, and they're all kind of people from England, that made the movie, and I didn't ask me a thing, but to them, Texans are rough. They don't spank over there in England or whatever, but in Texas, it's just not that way. My dad raised us with a leather strap across our back, and when we did wrong, we knew it was coming, but we respected him. We did, kids mess up, but he was born about the time of the Depression, and they didn't want their kids to be screw-ups, They want you to be respectable and be respectful to people, and be on time and keep your word. And I think that holds true in Texas. That's kind of like we are here.
Yes, sir. My next question is for AEW and the next generation. AEW, like you said earlier, has reignited mainstream excitement in the pro wrestling world. What do you see sets apart AEW from other promotions?
They have what world-class wrestling had in my day. What made us to have the TV rating we did was that we were a lot of young guys, and we were all hungry. And we had an idea of what we wanted to do with our personality or the image we projected. And we let those guys go with that. We let them make their own image. And by doing that, it was organic, it was natural, something they felt with it, and it worked. So we didn't just have a main event that was important to people. It would be the Sunshine and Misty, and it'd be RX-Man and Chris Adams or something like that. It was always something, plenty of things to go. There were young guys that were hungry, and I think that's what we have in AEW today. But instead of being like beer drinker, thug type guys, they're hard working athletes, guys that are devoted to the sport and want to they know their reversals, their counters, their takedowns, their submissions, and they all come instantly to them. And it's because to react is to win, and to hesitate is to lose. And my house was full of Vince Lombardi posters when I was a boy, and that's what we did. We wanted to get better every day. We pushed each other. And when people watch the movie and they think that Big Mean Fritz kind of made us all wrestle and money, it was not that way at all. But that's TV land for you. But to each other, we answered for mistakes that we'd make. And my brothers weren't drug people. Like in the last few years of Kerry's life, he was, but not really Mike, and not really Dave either. It was never really that big a thing to us. We did use numbing agents in our knees and back sometimes before shows, but that's a needle in between your joints, and it's really painful, but it's not something that's fun at all, but it's to make you perform better, because we wanted to give our best. And on Monday night when we shot television, we would numb up with Doc would give us a needle in the knee or in the shoulder, kill that pain so we could perform. But that was, like we said, that's being a dad. That's being a father. You'll do anything for those kids, and that's how we all are. We're professional wrestlers, and life is rough, and we're rough. And a lot of people like to watch it. I think it's the truest, most pure form of entertainment. I think, really, I loved it. It was so much fun, so much fun.
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio, talking to our special guest today, Kevin Von Erich. And man, I'm telling you, it's a true honor having this amazing interview with him today. My next question is for fans out there who are headed to the Boeing Center on October 22nd. That's tomorrow. We're recording right now, today on October 21st. What do you hope that they can take away from AEW Dynamite and Collision here in San Antonio and look forward to?
Well, I think the people in San Antonio, I remember back in the days of Joe and Harry Freeman Coliseum and Hemisphere Arena, where it'd be packed and the sound was incredible. I mean, my ears to this day ring because of the noise. And San Antonio was better in San Antonio than Dallas. Wow. And I think it was the kids, but they were loud, and we loved them. We loved this town. In fact, we used to say, if, one day I'm going to live down here. We have just the clearest rivers in the world. To me, I love a Texas river. And my brothers all loved it. And so I love living in the country. And up where I'm from, in Denton County, it's all houses now. I can't find a farm out there. So here I am just north of Sisterdale or south of Sisterdale, and loving it. Remember coyotes, wild turkeys and deer, and hear night birds at night, and the coyotes with that. It's just beautiful. This is Texas I missed. I'll tell you what, if you want to find a way to really love Texas, try leaving it for 20 years. It worked for me.
There's a lot of people coming from California and coming to Texas, so that's for sure. What are you most proud of when you see Texas wrestling represented on a global stage? Because Texas it feels like a huge place, but it also has a hometown feel, small town feel. Texas
style wrestling. We have men that will pay the price. I mean, we will knock the heck out of each other in that ring with all we got, because that's what we do. That's our job. I mean, it's like it was a wreckful life. You're always hurt, you're always injured, and they come back to you later. But I don't know how the kids did it with this COVID. Remember, a lot of these wrestlers wrestled in empty arenas.
Yeah.
How could they have done that? Everything I did in the ring and the thing my sons do, you feed off the crowd. You need that sound. I mean, I would have been hurt if I tried some of this stuff with no crowd. I mean, but you don't feel anything when you're flying off the turnbuckles. When the crowd is chanting your name, you just go. There's no sport like it in the world. You know, it's just you give all you've got. You pour it all in that ring. And you watch my sons tomorrow night, you'll see they do not let up. They're just like my brothers. They answer to each other. If the one considers the other one's taking a shortcut, boy, he hears about it.
What lessons do you think today's wrestlers need to learn from, especially from your own personal experience being in the business?
It becomes like an instinct when you wrestle. You know, there's something called muscle memory. When you do something often enough, I suppose, when it comes to grabbing a guy and throwing him around, I know exactly what I'm doing, you know, and everyone's like that. I was telling people about my friend Bruiser Brody. That was we all kind of have a code of ethics, I guess. We wouldn't want to hurt a fan or anything like that, you know, or hurt somebody that's not as adept at handling themselves as we are. So, but Frank, my friend Frank, was the kind that he would hit a small guy, whatever. If you went wrong to him, he's going to attack. He was like a big old bear, to tell the truth, you know. But so we're talking about him. I didn't mean to get off the subject on Bruiser Brody. He was an old friend of mine, but he was that style, and he got killed for something just like that too. You know, he punched the wrong guy on the wrong day. You know, the guy that stabbed him, his daughter had drowned in their pool like 2 months before that, a month and a half before that. And, you know, when somebody's that shredded, that down to hurt, to pain, you know, don't cross him. And, you know, Brody did. He died for it.
Got time for one more question here. When you think about legacy, we hear that a lot being kind of floated out there, but what does legacy mean to you personally beyond the titles and the fame?
Well, I love my dad, you know, and when I first started wrestling, I called myself Von Erich because I didn't know my brothers would do it. But when you think of legacy now, it's kind of taken on a different meaning with this movie coming out, and they didn't ask me a thing about it. And this Von Erich to live under the curse and me changing my name and all that's a bunch of bull. That's not the truth at all. And I think my sons feel like they owe it to their uncles and they owe it to my grandfather and to me that we have no curse. We're not cursed. We're blessed. And I know that's how they feel about it, but, you know, movies are strong things, you know, and kind of talk to more people than I could ever talk to. And so I'm kind of out yells when a movie comes out about you.
Once again, been listening to Refocused Radio, 2-rounder, having our special guest today, the one and only Kevin Von Erich. Man, we're just tomorrow. Get ready, San Antonio. AEW Dynamite and Collision coming to San Antonio tomorrow, October 22nd at the Boeing Center at TechPort. I just want to say once again, thank you, Kevin, for your time, because I know you got so much going on in your schedule. Appreciate you blessing the studio today, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my, yeah, thank you.